Okay, I see it's 6:30, so it's time for us to begin. This is the Murray City Municipal Council meeting for May 2nd, 2017, and I'd like to welcome everyone here. It's great to see so many people, and also welcome those who are viewing live on the internet, and that is at http://murraycitylive.com. So, welcome. We'll do our opening ceremonies, and we have Jared Woodland, who will be conducting the Pledge of Allegiance. Jared, if you'd like to come up. He's one of our scouts. Yes, Jared, if you just want to come up to the podium.
Perfect.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jared. Okay, our next 5.2 is approval of minutes for council meeting for April 4th, 2017. So do I have a motion?
I'll move approval.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
The discussion.
Discussion.
I have one change I'd like to see made on it if I could.
Okay.
On page 7, the reference to the street 5460 South is correct. That is what I said in the meeting, but 5460 South is not the street I was referring to. So I'd like the record to be changed to reflect it was 5530 South was the street that I was referring to. So I'd like that to be updated in the record. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so now, do we have a motion with the changes?
Does the motion stand?
Yeah.
Okay, just with the changes?
Yep.
All right, we have a second and a motion, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks. All right, now is our time for special recognition, and at this time, I'd like to recognize the scouts that are here. And would you stand? And if you would state your name and tell us the badge that you're working on. Jared, do you want to start?
Sure. I am Jared Woodland, and I'm working on the Citizenship Award badge.
Okay.
I'm Caleb Clark, and I'm also working on the citizenship badge.
Great, thanks, Caleb.
I am Hunter Panis, and I am working on the citizenship badge.
Very good.
I'm AJ, and I'm working on the citizenship badge.
Great.
I'm Drew Barth, and I'm working on the citizenship badge.
And Drew, would you like to introduce your leaders? Great. Okay. Thank you all so much for being here. You can sit down if you wish. Great. And our second special recognition is Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. And Mayor Iyer will present to Justin Zollinger.
Honored to be able to share the Murray City's Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, or CAFR, for the fiscal year ending 2016, has qualified for the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting reporting from the Government Finance Officers Association. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in governmental accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by government and its management. I would like to note that the CAFR was judged by an impartial panel to meet the highest standards of the program, including demonstrating a constructive spirit of full disclosure. Congratulations to Justin Zollinger and his entire staff in the Finance Department.
Justin?
Just whenever you get an award, you have to have a team. And we have a great team here in Murray. So, thanks.
Thank you, and thanks to... Oh, Justin, would you have your team stand and introduce them as well?
So Brenda Moore, she's our controller. Joanne Miller is hiding in the back.
Joanne.
And Weena's not here, I don't think, but she's our accounts payable. And Joe Canapari, who used to be with us, who was recruited away, he's our senior account for this, when this award was, all the work that was done for this award. So that's the crew. And now we have our new crew member and leader, Denise Steck. So.
Thanks, Justin. Okay, our next is the swearing in of new Murray City Police Officer Brandon Hoyne. And Jennifer Kennedy and Chief Burnett presenting.
Well, as with spring comes everything new, right? And so we're pleased to be able to swear in Brandon today. He just graduated last Thursday from the Salt Lake Community College Law Enforcement Academy, and looking forward to him making a career here and doing a lot of good things. We are in the process of hiring a few others, and we're finding some good candidates, and that's encouraging for us. And Brandon's one of those right now, so we'll like to have Brandon come up and get sworn at for the first time, not the last.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Brandon Tyler Hoyne,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support, obey, and defend
to support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and perform the duties of my office
and perform the duties of my office
as a Murray City Police Officer
as a Murray City Police Officer
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Come on up here and pin his badge on him. That hurts him. Let's keep going until it stops. Comes out back.
Brandon?
Brandon, why don't you come on up, and we'll let you introduce any family and friends that are here with you.
My name is Brandon. Pleasure to be here. With me today, I got my wonderful wife, Noelle. We've been married about 3 years now, coming up in June. My wonderful parents, Julie and Pete, and then my in-laws, Cindy and Evan. And I'm always appreciative of all their support they've given me through the academy and through my wonderful career here in Murray City.
Great, thank you. Brandon? We like to think of Murray City as a family, and we would really like to let you know that you're very welcome into this family. So, welcome. Okay, our next special recognition is the presentation of the Murray Heritage Award. Presenting is Savannah Madsen to Bunny Ankney. Savannah? Oh, Sienna, is that?
It's Sienna. No
Oh,
worries. People
Sienna,
get it
I'm
wrong all the
so
time. I
sorry.
stopped getting offended in kindergarten when my principal couldn't get it right. So my name is Sienna Madsen, and I am currently serving as the History Advisory Board Chair. Before we present our Heritage Award, I would like to give you a little update on our projects from this past year and our current database. As of April 2017, Murray has 588 buildings on its local register, with 447 of those listed individually or as districts on the National Register of Historic Places. A total of 3,767 buildings in Murray are identified as contributing historic structures in the statewide database. Our museum collection includes 1,552 objects, 889 documents, 4,072 photos, 56 oral histories, and 427 family files. Approximately 600 to 800 people visit the museum each year, although that number has been increasing as more people are aware of the museum. A few project highlights from the past year include: 1, a new hallway exhibit celebrating Murray High Centennial; 2, installing historic street signage for 2 historic districts with the help of the city street department. Hats off. 3, conducted several historic tours and produced a successful Halloween storytelling event at the Murray Second Ward. 4, received a CLG grant for several historic preservation projects, including a schematic design for the Murray Theater. 5, currently training new staff for the museum and history programs. A few of our main goals for the upcoming year include: training staff on a new program related to our online photo collection, beginning a new museum program for children, which will be held the second Monday of each month during the summer, and finding a permanent visible location for our museum is critical as City Hall is moved. We appreciate the city's commitment to honoring the goals and criteria related to the MCCD and are anxious to provide input related to historic preservation as new projects come forward. And finally, the Murray History Advisory Board would like to present a Heritage Award to a very dedicated former employee. Bunny Ankney began working in the Murray City Museum in August of 2006, becoming a key history resource for Murray City. With a love for history, she took on the task of maintaining an extensive collection of artifacts, photos, and other documents while providing assistance to many individuals across the country who were seeking information typically related to their family history. For 10 years, she organized school tours, transcribed oral histories, helped create new exhibits, and provided the labor-intensive base work for new listening stations and a walking tour mobile app. She was asked to present at various state museum conferences and volunteered to help judge state history fair exhibits. Thank you, Bunny, for sharing your expertise and positive attitude as you serve the Murray community. We have a certificate for you here, as well as a small token of our appreciation. Yeah, and you can.
Thank you very much. This means a great deal to me because my job meant a great deal to me. I loved every second of it. I missed not being there. So I'm very, very grateful for this. My brother-in-law, Phil, is here with me, and my good friend Blanca is hiding in the back row. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Bunny, for all your service. We really appreciate it. All right, our next one is a joint resolution of the Mayor and Municipal Council of Murray City, Utah, to designate and support Emergency Medical Services Week. And I would like to have a motion.
I'll move we adopt the resolution to designate this Emergency Medical Services Week.
And I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay, take the vote.
Mr. House.
Aye.
Mr. Napolski.
Aye.
Mr. Camp.
Aye.
Mr. Brass.
Aye.
Aye. All right, now we have Mayor Iyer and Mike Dykeman to tell us more about the resolution we just passed.
Would you like me to read the resolution?
I think that'd be
Okay,
great,
that'd
thank
be
you.
great. A joint resolution of the mayor and the municipal council of Murray City, Utah, to designate and support the week of May 21st through 27th, 2017 as Emergency Medical Services Week. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and the recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas the emergency medical services system consists of emergency physicians, emergency nurses, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, firefighters, educators, administrators, and others, and whereas the members of the emergency medical services team, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continued education to enhance their life-saving skills, and whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and accomplishments of the emergency medical services providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week, now therefore be it resolved that in recognition of this event and all of those who serve in the medical services emergency medical services, I, Mayor Ted Iyer, and the Municipal Council of Murray do hereby proclaim and designate and support with much appreciation the week of May 21st through May 27th, 2017 as Emergency Medical Services Week, and we encourage the community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities while remembering to thank those who are called to serve in so great a capacity, sometimes at their own peril. Also, everyone is welcome to meet the proud members of the fire department for an open house on Saturday, May 27th at Ambulance Station number 84, located at 192 East, 5900 South, between 11 and 2 p.m. for a tour and free hamburgers and hot dogs. And so you have already voted on this, and so it has been passed, approved, and adopted by the mayor and the municipal council of Murray City on this day, the 2nd day of May, 2017. At this time, I'd like to present this joint resolution to Mike Dykeman.
Great.
Emergency medical services is so important to the community, and none of this would happen without the support of the mayor and the council. We are part of a larger organization, if you will. It is really, truly a team effort to make this happen. And what I'd like to do today is introduce some of our key team players. I'll start with Chad Pasqua, who is the battalion chief over emergency medical services, and then he'll introduce Dr. Balls. Thank you so much. We appreciate the support.
Yes, thanks for the support. My name is Chad Pasqua, and I'm the EMS battalion chief here in Murray. I just wanted to go over a few highlights we had this year, and one of them is we ended up hiring a new medical director. Our previous medical director ended up taking the job out of the county, and we ended up hiring a new one, and we ended up lucky enough to get Dr. Adam Balls, who's our medical director and also the chairman at the emergency department at IMC. So we're really fortunate to have him. One of the other things that we have coming up is we should be receiving one of our refurbished ambulances this week. When we started ambulance service in 2008, we ordered 3 Fords, and one of them we just put into refurb. So what that means is we took the box off the old Ford chassis and then put it on a new chassis, and then the refurbished it's going to be brand new, literally brand new, and with a great cost savings to the city. So we're looking forward to getting that this week. You know, Murray, we provide probably one of the top services in the state. I know we do. And it starts with all the EMS providers on the street. The guys do a great job. It starts with training. They go over new protocols, new medicines. They're really receptive to that. They do a great job with documentation, not only for our legal reasons, but for our billing company as well. But I think the most important thing that we provide at Murray is I think all of our EMS providers show compassion. And I think it's true compassion because whether it be, I've seen them go in the middle of the night and pick up little old ladies that fall out of bed, and they can just go put them back in bed and then be off on their way, but they don't. They actually tuck them in, literally tuck them in, make sure they have some water, make sure they're all squared away, and then they leave. And then sometimes it takes 10, 15, 20 minutes to do that, but they're okay with that. The compassion they show to the homeless, the compassion they show to people that have had, basically their worst day in their life, because that's when they call us. So they show great compassion, and I'm very, very proud of all our EMS providers. I know Dr. Balls wants to say a few words. Do you guys have any questions for me or comments? And if not,
What is the savings by doing what you did on that?
we save probably
Vehicle.
right in the little. I don't know exact figure, but I know it's right around $50,000 or so. And really, it's gonna come out basically brand new. They repaint it. They just don't replace the frame. And that frame is the one we got is such a high quality frame that we can resurface it probably another at least 1 or 2 more times.
That's great.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting it this week. So if you see a new shiny ambulance running around the city, then that's what it is.
It's your pride and joy.
It's the pride and joy for this week for sure.
Can I make a comment?
Oh sure.
Yes, of course.
I'm excited to hear Dr. Balls, but I wanted to just make a comment about how the emergency medical service and the fire service has evolved over the years. I'm not as old as I look, but I do remember back in the day when all the firefighters were trained in basic first aid and a few emergency medical technicians, and we ran one squad that ran over the whole city, and look at how that has changed over the years and evolved to a first-rate emergency medicine. The STEMI program that's proven to be life-saving, and I want to just say how much I admire the fire service for adapting to those changes over the years, because it's a whole different ballgame, and who knows what the future is going to be. I'm sure you'll be adapting to whatever it is, but so I thank you for such a great service.
Thank you. I'd just like to introduce Dr. Adam Balls, and he'd like to say a few words.
Great. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today, members of the City Council, citizens, and others. It's a great honor to be in the position that I'm in as the Murray City Fire Medical Director. My prior to coming to Salt Lake about 6 years ago, I spent 4 years on active duty in San Antonio, Texas, 2 deployments to Iraq and Germany, and I specialized in critical care transport. In my time as Riverton Hospital Medical Director for a couple of years, and now for the last 2 years at Intermountain Medical Center, I can attest that the Murray City Fire Department provides the best care in the Valley to its citizens.
Wow.
And I say that in an unbiased way, having interacted with many crews from many different departments across the Valley and in my time in the military. I've gone on calls with these paramedics, these firefighters. I've seen them in homes deliver care to the citizens of this community, and they do a remarkable job. They do a very hard job. Suicide prevention is a hot topic in emergency medical services. What these individuals do and what they put on the line every day is great. They give their emotion, their physical all to their job, and they do so, oftentimes without the recognition that they deserve. And I'm grateful for the opportunity here to publicly recognize them for their efforts. And as Blair mentioned, they continually train. We want to be seen as cutting edge in the care that we provide from an emergency medical services team. We want to set the standard for the community, and we want to deliver that standard in an excellent and compassionate way. And I congratulate Chad and Chief and Mike and all the other battalion chiefs and the leadership team for what they put together over the years.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Balls, and thank you for your service to Murray. We really do appreciate it. Are there any other comments?
Oh, just I wanted to add on to that. I've gotten to ride in the ambulance a couple of times. Not too happy about it. I'm a diamond level member of your frequent flyer club in the ER. But no, they do. They do a great job, and you know, sometimes it could be really scary. But when you hear the siren coming, you know, help's on the way, and so I thank you guys also all the time. But you do a great job. It's much appreciated.
Yeah, big thank you.
Yes, thanks. All right, we'll continue on. The next is citizens' comments, and this is not the public hearing. We have a couple of public hearings coming up, but this is a time for citizens to address the council, and you are allowed 3 minutes, and so now is the time. Seeing no comments, we'll continue on. Consent agenda, we have none. Public hearings. So, public hearing number 1. Consider an ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2016-2017 budget. And Justin Zollinger presenting.
Appreciate coming before council tonight on a few budget items that we have. I'll just start rolling through the list. So, Medicare state assessment, we had a bill come in higher, significantly higher than we had previously anticipated. It was approximately $39,000. Usually they're quarterly about $12,000, $10,000 to $12,000. So one came in at $39,000. That was not anticipated in our budget. So we need an additional $30,000 to help cover, or funding to help cover the increase in costs for the Utah State Medicare Transport Assessment. And this will be funded by sales tax, the excess sales tax we have right now. The second line item that we have on our list, the amphitheater state funding, we found out last week that is not going to actually come in this fiscal year. So if we could have a change on it to strike that, that's not going to come in probably till October. So it's not going to happen in this fiscal year. We thought that was going to come in by the end of June, so putting it in the budget, but that one needs to be struck.
How much is that?
$200,000 will come in next year. Okay, our next item on there is we need to move budget from the fire department purchase of land budget to the capital projects transfer for $500,000. And then once we move it to the transfers line, we need to transfer authorization to transfer the $500,000 from the capital projects fund to the redevelopment agency fund for UTA acquisition, property acquisition. The property needs to be owned by the RDA fund, not by the capital projects fund or the city, and that's why we're moving that money. A couple of years ago, the state passed a law that required in the line of duty death benefit. The only problem is they hadn't set up a trust fund yet to provide where contributions go for the trust fund. They have since gotten the trust set up. The city's required to make the contribution before June 30 this year to be part of that trust fund. So for the police department in the line of duty trust, $7,500, money to be used for the state trust fund for a fallen officer. And also for the fire, and that one was $7,500. The fire department in the line of duty trust is $5,900. And both of these will be funded from sales tax surplus, budget surplus we have right now. Our City Hall boiler was inspected by the state and it failed. It didn't pass inspection. Tim had it evaluated and he found out it would be $55,000 to fix the boiler. We wish it wasn't that, but as we're in an old building, but you have to have heat in your building. Obviously not during the summertime, but we need to have heat. And that one's going to be funded from general fund reserves.
That's a good thing we saved that $50,000 on the ambulance, huh?
That's true. That's true. Okay, in addition, the finance department, $30,000 for increase in payroll for transition for funding from the sales tax. The wastewater fund, we have a loan with Central Valley of approximately $1.8 million. This is to pay off a 2005 State Division of Water Quality loan. This is actually the last loan that we can pay off together. There's no more loans that are callable. We've essentially paid off every loan we could the last 5 years. Not that we haven't issued some, but we've paid off. This will be the last one we could pay off. So, and that's the wastewater fund, and it's funded from wastewater fund reserves. Marianne has just continued to do fantastic work. She was able to get us another grant of $50,000 from the Wheeler Farm Foundation. And so that's going to go to help pay for our amphitheater renovation. And that will be in the capital projects fund. And then last, our fuel storage tanks over at our central garage were inspected by the state. They didn't pass. These are underground storage tanks. Doug has much more information, but it's going to cost $110,000 to replace those with above ground tanks. And this is paid from general fund reserves. Those are the items we have on the agenda tonight. Are there any questions?
I have a comment. I think that 200,000 has already been removed from the ordinance. Is that correct, Frank?
You know, I think it would be best to address it. We did in our notices of this public hearing. It was included in the notice. We did present to you a revised draft that does not include it, but
Okay.
probably for caution that you would want to, in your motions, refer to that 200,000 is not in the budget amendment.
Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, Justin, on that participation in the Medicare transport assessment, that money is actually is offset by doesn't that a result of increased transports?
It is increased, resulting in increased
therefore,
transport.
increased revenue?
Yes, it is. But on the expense side, we hadn't planned on that big expense.
Right. I understand that, but I just wanted to make sure that it's clear that that's not just a liability, that there's revenue coming in too. So,
Revenue is coming to help fund that.
yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll open this for public comment. If you have a comment, if you would fill out the public comment form and turn that in, and then come to the podium. You have 3 minutes to speak. Okay. Seeing no public comment, we'll close the hearing, and I'll put it to the council members.
Would you like to entertain a motion at this time?
Sure, if there are
Okay.
no other comments, that'd be great.
Okay, I would move that we adopt an ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2016 and 2017 budget as presented by our finance director.
Do we have a second?
I would second that with the mention that less the $200,000 for the amphitheater remodel.
Perfect. Thank you. Discussion. We already talked about the 200,000, so shall we have a vote? Jennifer?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Our second public hearing is to consider a resolution approving the 2016 Municipal Wastewater Planning Program report. And Doug Hill will be presenting.
Thank you. Danny, do you mind standing for just a minute? I want to just give kudos to Danny. I think you all know, but perhaps the audience doesn't know, that Danny is our water superintendent and is responsible for the operation and maintenance of the city's water system as well as the city's sewer or wastewater system. Thanks, Danny. The next two public hearings will focus on the city's wastewater system. This first public hearing is required by the state of Utah as part of our permit, annual permit that we apply for through the state of Utah. And what they ask us to do each year, and what Danny does, is they ask us to complete a self-assessment report of how we're doing. And it's in areas of operation, in areas of finance, and in areas of long-term planning. The report then must be approved by the City Council, and that's what you're considering this evening. along with taking any public comment, if there is any, about the city's wastewater system. And then it is returned to the state of Utah, as I mentioned, to comply with our permit requirements, but it also plays into any loans that the city may want to apply for in the future. And so they will look at this self-assessment report and see how we are doing with our wastewater system, and you know, the loans that, if we were to apply, would be contingent upon our ability to perform based on the self-assessment report. So that's what's before you tonight, is this the wastewater planning program report, and we're asking that you approve it, and also to take any public comment regarding the city's wastewater system.
Thank you, Doug. All right, we'll open this for public comment. And so if there's anyone who would like to comment on this issue, you'll have 3 minutes to do so. Okay. Seeing no comments, we'll close the public comment period and send it to the council. I would consider a motion.
Okay. I'll move that we approve a resolution, or that we can approve a resolution for the 2016 Municipal Wastewater Planning Program Report.
I'll second.
Okay. Is there a discussion on the motion? Okay. Seeing none, Jennifer, would you take the vote?
Aye.
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 Aye. All right. Public hearing number 3. This is consider a resolution approving the wastewater collection system master plan as part of the wastewater impact fee facilities plan. Doug Hill presenting.
So the last time the city updated our wastewater master plan was in 2009. We hired the engineering firm of Hanson Allen Luce to do that work for us, and that report or master plan is now going on 8 years old. Last month we presented to you in a committee of the whole meeting the results of the study that Hanson Allen Luce has done for us recently. Just in summary, what that report does is it looks at our wastewater system, and it measures the flows in our pipes, and then it takes a look at any deficiencies that there might be in our wastewater system, considering future growth, and then it makes a recommendation of projects that the city should undertake in order to stay ahead of any deficiencies or future growth that may happen in the city. The report found 4 projects, or recommended that there are 4 projects in the city that we should undertake as soon as funding is available. And it also cautioned of 3 areas in the city that we need to watch and see over time what happens in those 3 areas, and be ready to react if we see any problems occurring. So a total of 7 areas in the city that are on our watch list and need some work. And that was what was presented to you in the committee of the whole last month. Tonight, what we are asking you to do is to approve that master plan as part of our fee study that is currently underway. And the fee study will look at what our fees need to be in order to improve these deficiencies recommended in the master plan. And it will also look at our impact fees for new development that comes into the city. And of course, as you know, but perhaps the audience doesn't know, is that an impact fee is charged to any new development, building, home, business that comes into the city in order to essentially buy into the system, because they they are impacting the system by bringing new growth in. So we would then charge this, do the study, as part of the study, determine what the impact fee would need to be for new growth, as well as what existing fees need to be for existing users of it within our system. And we will eventually be bringing that fee study and its recommendations to you. I believe Danny indicated in your previous meeting, probably in the next, certainly in the next couple of months, we'll have that before you to consider. But we want to make sure, because state law requires that the master plan, or the capital facilities plan as it's often referred to in state law, is adopted first and as part of that impact fee study. So that's what we're asking you to do tonight.
Thank you, Doug.
I about clapped for him.
Well,
You did such a good job. I'm not kidding you.
I know.
I'm ready to clap.
Very impressive. Comments from the council? All right, we'll open it for public comment. So the same procedure as the other two. If there are any comments? Okay, seeing none, we'll continue on and close this public comment period and put it to the council.
I would make a motion approving or adopting the resolution approving the wastewater collection system master plan as part of the wastewater impact fee facilities plan as presented.
Second,
I'll second that.
is there a discussion on the motion? Okay. Seeing none, Jennifer?
Aye.
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 Aye. Since there's no unfinished business at this point, we'll go to new business. 10.1 is to consider a resolution providing advice and consent to the mayor's appointment of Denise Steck as the city's finance director. Mayor Ted Iyer presenting.
Okay, if I'd like to read this resolution, please. A resolution providing advice and consent to the mayor's appointment of Denise Steck as the city's finance director. Whereas the city needs to hire a finance director, and whereas Section 10-3B-202 of the Utah Code provides that the mayor, with the advice and consent of the city council, appoints each city director of the city and department director, of the city, and whereas the mayor has determined that Denise Steck is a very qualified person to serve as the city's finance director, and whereas the mayor appoints Denise Steck as the finance director, subject to advice and consent of the city council, and whereas the city council wants to give its consent to the mayor's appointment of Denise Steck as the city's finance director, now therefore be it resolved by the Murray City Municipal Council that it hereby consents to the mayor's appointment of Denise Steck as the city director of finance, dated 2nd of May 2017.
Okay, shall we go ahead and have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we adopt a resolution providing advice and consent to the mayor's appointment of Denise Steck as the city's finance director.
I'd second that motion.
Okay, it has
Do that, yes.
been motioned and seconded. Is there discussion? Okay,
Just
Jennifer?
Think we'll get out of here before 2 a.m., Denise?
All right. Aye.
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 Aye. Welcome, Denise. And would you like to say anything? Would you like to introduce your family? That would be to our, this is also your new family, so you've got one heck of a family.
I do. Thank you. I appreciate the appointment and the support that the council and mayor has given me so far, and I look forward to working with all of you at the city. My family is here, so my husband Greg is in the bow tie. You'll always see him in a bow tie. He teaches middle school at Eisenhower Junior High, teaches math. My daughter Heather and one of my granddaughters, Rowan, is here. My son Matt and my daughter-in-law Quincy are here. And my son Nate and son-in-law Nate and daughter Elizabeth are here. So this is 3 of our 6 children. And the newest grandchild is back there. He's just 4 weeks old.
Oh,
So-
wow. Oh, my goodness.
But I
Wow.
appreciate the opportunity to work with all of you, and I look forward to it.
We look forward to it as
Yeah.
well.
Welcome.
And it's very nice to come to a city where the transition is very smooth. The last 2 transitions I've made in the last 15 years were joining an organization where the finance director has been let go. So it's really nice to have a transition, and Justin's giving me his cell phone number, and I can actually call him. So it's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Denise.
Justin, you told me you were going to close down that cell phone tonight. Oh, no, okay. It's a burner.
Burner. Yes.
I don't know whether I'm more impressed with the with your resume, Denise, or the number of whereas in the resolution, but having had the opportunity to look over your qualifications and then meet you earlier this evening, I'm so excited to welcome you to the city and look forward to working with you. So thank you for being here, and I'm glad that the cell phone is not. As some finance directors have had to give their number at their cell. Anyway.
Funny.
So
boy.
welcome.
Couldn't resist, could you?
So, I'll be here all week. Yeah.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, you are, and
You'll be
Justin's gonna
okay.
miss us, huh?
All right. Now, the next new business is the presentation of the mayor's budget address. Mayor Ted Iyer.
Larry, you're hard to follow, but but if Bunny can do
You'll
this,
be
I
fine.
can do this. Good evening, members of the Murray City Council, fellow residents, employees, and staff. Thank you for allowing me the time tonight to present my budget recommendations for the fiscal year 2017-2018. This is my 4th and most likely my last budget presentation, and I will always be grateful for the opportunity to understand in great detail what has made our city so financially sound over the years. Each year I have gained a greater appreciation for our department heads and their wise decisions in establishing and managing their individual department budgets. Their efforts have resulted in over $1 million being contributed to our CIP, or Capital Improvement Plan Fund. I'd also like to acknowledge the expertise and dedication of our Finance Director, Justin Zollinger, and his staff. As many of you know, this is the final budget that Justin will help us prepare for Murray City. We have appreciated his wisdom, his financial responsibility to the city, and most of all, his friendship. As hard as it may be to see him leave, we want him to know that we value the work that he has accomplished and all the things that he has done under his leadership to secure the financial position and establish what we have here in Murray City. Best of luck to you and your wonderful family, Justin. At this time, I'd like to recognize our newly appointed Finance Director, Denise Steck. We look forward to working with you and continuing the Murray legacy of being an independent and financially stable city. I would like to extend to you a warm welcome to you and your family as you join what we fondly refer to as our Murray family. I once again am very proud to present to the City Council a balanced budget for the year 2017-2018. The budget is a financial plan that summarizes the present financial health and the direction that we have chosen for future projection for future projects and expenditures of revenues in the upcoming year. Our budget is a reflection of the priorities of Murray City, and it reflects the direction and goals for the coming year. Murray is an independent and self-reliant city which provides the majority of needed services for our residents. In a perfect world, all requests of the city and the departments would be granted, but that is just not possible. Although we are a landlocked city, our services are still expanding, and we strive to stay ahead of the growth that we are experiencing. While preparing the budget, we consider three major areas: the day-to-day operation budgets, which includes the enterprise funds, compensation for our valued employees, and the prioritized projects contained in the CIP. We then look at the projected revenues available and prepare a balanced budget to where we provide all the services possible while at the same time living within our means. We maintain a very conservative posture when estimating future revenues. This year, the projections indicated a 2.98% increase. Though the projections we use show a gradual increase, we always err on the cautionary side in forecast. This gives us a buffer and a protection in the event of future economic changes. We feel we have a personal responsibility to create an environment with new ideas and expanding services while continuing to be financially stable and not leave problems for future generations or elected officials. As we are considered a full-service city, we therefore place a high priority in providing top-notch services to our 49,000 residents. For our citizens who pay property taxes, this chart shows how every dollar is distributed. As you can see, Murray City receives less than 15% of each dollar. It is imperative that we make the best use of this money. Contained within our budget, there are 16 different funds. The general fund contains the largest part of our city departments. It encompasses revenue and expenditures dealing with taxes and operating costs. 7 funds are enterprise funds, which are run as individual businesses, and each has a solid financial foundation. The Capital Improvement Plan Fund has been reviewed by the CIP committee, and they have compiled a list of prioritized projects to be considered. The rebuilding of our downtown area remains a major focus, and there are several items budgeted to help with this project. They are contained within our CIP budget, and I would like to highlight just 5 examples. They are $1.8 million is proposed to be added to last year's $4.2 million to complete the relocation of Fire Station 81 to the corner of 48 South and Box Elder. We have planned $1,440,000 for the design of our new City Hall. If approved, this will save in additional bonding costs. Also, $1.5 million for the purchase of the Murray Mansion. The mansion will serve as an important historical feature for our new open space area in our downtown development. There is a certified local government grant available for matching funds, and $20,000 is dedicated for Murray City for the Murray City Theater feasibility study and schematic design to utilize the funds provided through this grant. $100,000 is earmarked for demolition and preparation of our downtown area for future development. Many of our citizens and most of our employees realize how important it is for us to build a new City Hall as soon as possible. This existing building is not only unsafe, but it is costing us tens of thousands of dollars in additional maintenance cost each year. Therefore, the building of a new City Hall has become a focal point of our downtown redevelopment project. However, I want to ensure our citizens and our employees that there is no money being diverted out of the general fund or any other fund towards the construction of this building. We have secured a revenue-neutral sales tax bond to cover the cost of our new City Hall that will in no way affect the services to our residents or the compensation to our employees. The paying off of other bonds early, along with Murray's history of sound financial footing, has resulted in a bond rating that has made this possible. Many departments will be getting new machinery and equipment to replace aging items. Our employees work hard to keep the equipment in good repair, but eventually items wear out being used so frequently. As an example, The police department will be able to replace and equip 9 new patrol vehicles and purchase a new code enforcement truck. The fire department will refurbish their 3rd ambulance. The refurbishing saves over $40,000 compared to a new ambulance, and will be able to utilize the additional ambulance to help in the increased medical calls we see on a monthly basis. In the Parks Department, the budget included an irrigation central control system and a new backhoe. Last year, you remember, we were able to lease a backhoe at a very reasonable charge, but the price of leasing almost tripled this year, so it is necessary to purchase one instead of renew the lease. A replacement traffic control truck was also budgeted for the Streets Department. There was always an ongoing need for money for road improvements. Each year, we try to dedicate about 20% of our CPI budget towards road projects. This year, with the combined funds from Class C and the CIP monies, we will be able to devote almost $2 million to road projects with anticipated improvements on Vine Street, Bullion, and Topowa. Although department heads were asked to stay flat when preparing their budget, employee compensation for the great services provided by our employees is a large part of the budget. It is also important to be able to hire qualified people and retain those who have provided years of service and have institutional knowledge of the city. In the past 3 years, we have been able to offer substantial increases in our employee compensation and correct many inconsistencies resulting from compression and other factors. Employees' compensation is not one-time money, but has to be maintained or by projections and revenues for a long period of time. A detailed study of future long-term revenues has resulted to where I am proposing a 1% cost of living or COLA increase and a 1% merit increase based on employee evaluations. There are a few employee salary adjustments and a $500 bonus for our red line employees. Insurance costs are always a concern. Our insurance increase was 2.7% this year, and the city will continue to cover these costs as it has in subsequent years. I am also recommending a new position of an engineering technician in the engineering department. The workload has increased in this department to a critical point, and another employee is needed. Since Murray City is a service organization, our employees are our #1 resource, and it is a privilege to work with such dedicated and knowledgeable people. To keep our employees well equipped and current in an ever-changing workplace environment, we have placed $10,000 in a line item paid out of the risk fund for training. Although department heads and supervisors provide day-to-day employment training, the atmosphere in which we work is always changing, and there is a need to keep updated on the latest issues. The Human Resource Department will be arranging citywide training for all of our employees through these funds. I would like to thank our City Council members. It is an honor to work with you. I think we have a great balance in the responsibilities placed upon us. I know you take the budget as seriously as I do, and I thank you for your hard work to meet the needs of our city and to allocate money where we can make the biggest impact and provide the best services, along with supporting the safest environment for our cities, for our citizens to enjoy. Many of you know that I like to read about Abraham Lincoln. I would like to end by sharing one of his quotes. I like to see a man proud of the place in which he lives. I like to see a man live so that his place is proud of him. I love Murray City, and I have been honored to serve in this position for the last 3.5 years. I am proud of how we have all worked together to ensure that Murray remains a city without equal. I hope the residents will be proud of how we have prioritized their funds for a balanced budget in the upcoming 2017-2018 fiscal year. It is with great respect for each of you that I propose the budget for your consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, that leads us to 10.3, which is to consider a resolution acknowledging receipt of the fiscal year 2017-2018 tentative budget from the mayor and the budget officer, and referring the mayor's tentative budget for review and consideration to the Budget and Finance Committee of the Murray City Municipal Council.
Well, as the budget chair, I'll make a motion we adopt the resolution acknowledging receipt of the fiscal year 2017-2018 tentative budget from the mayor and the budget officer, and referring that budget for review and consideration to the Budget and Finance Committee of the Murray City Municipal Council.
Do I have a second?
I would second that.
Is there discussion on the motion?
Just want to take the opportunity to say thanks, Mayor. Awesome, awesome. We appreciate it, and we love you, and you have just done a great job and have a great support with Ruth out there. Thank you.
Yes, I agree. And thank you, Justin, and your staff. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, look at Justin's family. This is what he does. This is what he does. Does he?
You guys are so wonderful.
Does he sleep at night, or does he talk? Does he talk about the city much at home?
Oh, you poor kids.
Get you to sleep quite quickly, huh?
Okay, Jennifer.
Mr. House.
Aye.
Mr. Raponski.
Aye.
Mr. Kemp.
Aye.
Mr. Nebraska.
Aye.
Ms. Turner.
Aye. Okay, Mayor.
I
It's
think you've
your
heard from me
turn.
enough tonight, and I understand that there's a basketball game on, and so I have no further things to say. No mayor's report.
Okay. And, oh, yes,
Uh,
Blair.
I don't really have a question of the mayor, but I do have a comment I'd like to make. With the passing yesterday of Robbie Robertson, former council member of District 2, I just wanted to publicly acknowledge his passing, and he will be very missed in this community. He's was an outstanding public servant, and many of you, if not all of you, had some kind of contact with Robbie over the years, whether it be baseball or shooting or whatever it was, or just his service on the council. So I just wanted to acknowledge his passing. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Blair.
Okay, we'll be adjourned.